Many people are longing for a pure, holy life, far away from the contagious depravity of the world, which some hope to find in a remote monastery in the mountains of Tibet. We feel the need for and the possibility of a higher way of life. For a spiritual person, the situation on earth is almost unbearable. Yes, I suffer from the hostile conditions. Among all the dirt and hustle and bustle, I long for a beautiful, worthy life, for a place where I am not hurt and restricted by the rudeness and selfishness of the others. You are not happy with the circumstances in which you are forced to live? Then set about to create better ones. In the beginning, I looked around but could not find the car I was dreaming of. Thus, I decided to build it myself. This, however, is not a hobby. It is essential for your survival. If you do not want to be overwhelmed or depressed by all the stupidity, sluggishness, and selfishness in your surroundings, you are forced to create your own higher world. Let us repeat again, because it is so important. Each spirit creates his own world, and the beauty or ugliness of the created world depends upon the quality of the consciousness. Agni Yoga recommends: create your own world. Do you grasp the magnificence of this concept? You are actually able to create the highest world you can possibly imagine and wish for. Of course, however, this can only be a spiritual world, which exists independent of the material circumstances. The outer world you can change to a limited extent only. The inner world in which you live is determined by you yourself alone. A yogi is so close to spiritual perfection that he cannot long endure even the usual interplanetary form of existence. Yogi Yu, known to you, for this reason created a special form of interplanetary existence for himself. It then was recognized as being of use to humanity. There are no abodes anymore for the spiritual. People used to escape the terrible conditions in the old world by emigrating to America, which was then called the New World. Today we choose the inner emigration to a new world of the spirit. Let each one designate for himself a path of progression leading toward one of the higher worlds. Building up your own spiritual sphere in the middle of the materialistic desert is the great adventure of the New Age. You do not have to retreat like Saint Anthony the Great to the desert, or Jules Verne's Captain Nemo to a submarine, in order to live a pure and holy life far away from the evil world. A king of the spirit does not need a physical castle. A hierarch does not need a palazzo in Venice. You can live in the midst of everyday life in your own inner world. Let us summarize what has been said before. We want to live already on earth in a heaven which we have called a temple or a sanctuary. And we can create any world simply by directing our thoughts and feelings accordingly. This results in you can transform any place, whatever its external appearance, into a sanctuary. I don't understand yet. How is that supposed to work practically? For this, you have to recognize what is a temple, a place with a pure and holy atmosphere. How does a pure and holy atmosphere arise in this world, among all that filth? What is it that makes a room a sanctuary? Do you really assume the stone altars and the marble columns? No, it is the people who inhabit the place. When we create an atmosphere of purity, peace, and solemnity, we can sanctify every room. When, on the other hand, we comport ourselves roughly or aggressively, all the splendor of a temple building and all the white robes are of no use at all. A room is pure or unclean, holy or depraved, depending upon what kind of spirit prevails in it. How does such a spirit arise? The spirit that fills a place is shaped by the thoughts, feelings, words, and acts of the people who are living there. When they are unclean or pursue selfish concerns, they pollute every room, even the most wonderful church. Thus, how do you build up your sanctuary? With the help of my own thoughts and feelings? Yes, exactly. Everywhere you can control and direct your thoughts and feelings so that they are joyful, peaceful, and solemn. If the power of your spirit is just strong enough, nobody and nothing can stop you. If you think, feel, speak, and behave in a pure and holy way at any place, you create a pure and holy atmosphere around you. This is how you erect a spiritual sanctuary, regardless of the material circumstances. You are building the temple in spirit. Isn't that mere imagination? No, the establishment of the interior temple is a spiritual exercise. It is a long way, taking possibly several incarnations and requiring hard work, until you have achieved lasting inner peace and tranquility. It is not easy to create this state of mind in meditation in the morning. It is even more difficult to defend and preserve it in the midst of the everyday struggle. A sublime state of the consciousness is not an illusion, but a spiritual reality. Let us now discuss how exactly you can walk the path of the interior temple in the middle of worldly life. We now want to see what you have to do practically in order to live in heaven, already on earth. Our exercise, the path of the inner temple, consists of 4 steps, which you should take one after the other. Remember, the world that you build up for yourself and in which you want to live is, at least at the beginning, not a material, but only a spiritual world. The sanctuary you wish to construct is a building of the subtle world. There, this interior temple, like everything else, is created by your thoughts. The beginning of our exercise is the heaven in which you want to live. You have to imagine as precisely as possible, create in your thoughts, and thereby actually build up in the spiritual world. Visualize a beautiful and worthy picture of your eternal home. You might choose a mountain peak, the earth with all the other people deep down beneath you, or a quiet place far from human settlements with palm trees and a small pond fed by pure spring water, or the ashram of your teacher, that is, a place which you do not create alone, but together with others in thought. Prepare for your spirit a beautiful garden, not in the desert waste, but on the summit of attainment. Here is an example. Let your imagination run wild. Certainly you can imagine and thereby create something even more beautiful, even more in accordance with your nature. We had already said, with the help of your own thoughts and feelings, you build up your eternal individuality, your fiery body, like a work of art. However, your soul cannot exist in the middle of nowhere and nothing. It needs an environment to live in. You must construct the world of the soul as well, again with your imagination. This too is a work of art, to be created by you yourself. The establishment of the temple within is the necessary continuation of the practice of shaping your body of light. Like a house for the body on earth, you must also build a home for the soul in the spiritual world. The fiery world around you exists anyway, then you better create it yourself. If you want to be a soul, you also have to learn to live in the world of the soul. Of course, there are also temples and ashrams in the subtle world. We have entire strongholds in that world. You already know their names. You have heard about the structures created by thought. One must clearly realize these conditions in order to direct oneself to Dhokyud. Thought, not obscured by doubt, will lead to our supermundane abodes. In the higher world, your temple of thought is a reality. It is the eternal homeland from which your soul comes and to which it wishes to return. The image of this sacred place which you are harboring today might not be correct in all details. However, important alone is that you grasp the essence, the spirit of this institution.